Assalamualaikum and a very good day. I'm Majdina Mansour from English Language Department from CFS IIUM. Okay, so today I will share about Oh-Lem-Pic, right? So this is an innovation that I have come up with my team members, okay, which consists of Zarato Akmal, Muhammad Zakwan Imran, and Afifah. Okay, so this Olympic here is a direct pun from Olympics. Okay, so the subject that we're teaching, which is English, has the code LEM, right? And so we added that because Olympic is the combination of physical games and language games. Right? Okay, through our innovation, we want to improve our students' interest in learning English, okay, through physical games. Okay, so I think it is generally known that for most or some ESL or English as second language learners, they lack the interest to learn the language, right? And if we were to observe the trend among our Malaysian students, they are very reluctant to use the language. Okay, one of the reasons would be because they are afraid of making mistakes, having their friends laugh at their mistakes and all, and that would lead them to participate very minimally in class. All right, so this could be one of the problems with conventional teaching methods, because if it's in a formal classroom setting, they feel that if they want to speak, they have to be accurate about it. Okay, so that would further limit their opportunities to use the language. Therefore, uh, when we try to solve that or lessen that, so first of all, I think if we hear the word games, we know that it's supposed to be fun and interactive. Okay, so apart from eliminating boredom among learners, of course, if they are more interested in learning language, they are more motivated, it would also improve classroom dynamics through the gamification of learning, because we can make learning less monotonous and more interactive. Okay, and then with applying games in learning, we would create more opportunities and opening for students to practice their language skills freely. And through Olympic, we want to provide as much opportunities as possible for students to use the language, to use English outside the classroom setting. Okay, as a result of these opportunities, it is hoped that it would increase their interest and motivation towards the language, right? Okay, so what exactly is Olympic? It's actually a series of games. So students can play them in any sequence. So these are among the checkpoints that we set up for our Olympic. Okay, so first we had hopscotch and spelling bee. Okay, so in this checkpoint, okay, in the station, students would have to place hopscotch. Okay, something that they would know as a kid. Okay, they play hopscotch, and when they reach certain point in the root of the hopscotch, they have to spell a word. Okay, so the teacher in charge or the committee in charge would pronounce a word, and then they have to spell the word. If they can spell the word correctly, they can proceed to complete the whole root of the hopscotch. Right. Next one. Okay, so we wanted to encourage the students to play the old school games, the games that they would have played as a kid, or perhaps it's not something that they are used to, given that they are from a different generation. Okay, so for this checkpoint, they have to play two games, right? First is Chongka, and then the next one is Carom. They have to reach certain point. Okay, and then of course, like I mentioned earlier, we combine physical games and language games. So we have Mime-rathon, in which students have to complete word games. Okay, so these word games, there will be a few, not a few, there were many short questions, actually, word games. Okay, they don't have to get all the to answer all the questions correctly. They have to complete a certain number, get them or answer them correctly, then it will be a pass for them. Okay, so it is considered complete. Okay, next one is 1 minute speech. Okay, we because we think that speaking can be a good sport. All right, so for 1 minute speech, students would be given a random word. It's just a one word flashcard. Based on that one word, they have to speak for 1 minute. They can talk about anything that is related to the word given. Okay, so after 1 minute, the person in charge or the teacher in charge will stop them, and if the teacher or the committee members um, are satisfied with the speech, then they would be considered done, okay, with that checkpoint. Okay, so next one is the triviathlon. All right, it's a series of trivia questions. So we want to test the students' general knowledge. So for this triviathlon, they were given 20 trivia questions, and they have to complete at least 15. These settings and environment, we create the opportunities and opening because they don't feel they are being observed. They do not have to actually worry about the accuracy of the language. They can just use it. They can just freely express themselves, right? Okay, so when it comes to the practicality and the sustainability of Olympic, it is not only applicable for English, but you can basically use it with any other language. Okay, for foreign language learning, all sorts of language, because we're talking about language games plus physical games. Okay, and we can also modify the games. To suit different level of students or language learners. We can go from beginner or advanced to different group of students, preschoolers or even adult students, because like what I did, we played this with our foundation students. Okay, and of course, you can modify the questions to suit the appropriate level. Okay, for example, in English or any other language for that matter, we have the CEFR level. So we can modify that to find the appropriate level for our students. Okay, and then we modify the questions. We try to modify the games. And depending on the time and the sources available. And then, of course, it's also practical in terms of the language skills that you can focus on. Okay, so these would be the impact based on our findings, because we have conducted Olympic with our students. And of course, this would be based on our observation. So through Olympic, uh, we have created a fun and relaxing environment for the students. They were happy to walk about to walk around the hall, okay, and it improved their motivation. So Olympic also encourage the use of English for communication and interaction among the students themselves, as well as um, between students and the teachers. And we can observe that the students were able to express themselves very comfortably. They did not have to worry about language accuracy like they usually would in class, right? Okay, so I think we have reached the end of our presentation. So thank you so much. And Assalamualaikum.